The Serengeti sun painted the dawn in shades of red, yet what caught the eye of Elias, the seasoned ranger, wasn't the tranquil beauty of morning. Instead, it was the grim evidence of a violent night, blood stains scattered across the ground and a circle of silent lions surrounding a fallen giant, telling a raw and unfolding story of survival. Though the dawn had broken in stunning splendor, the soft golden light did little to ease the tension that clung to this troubled patch of land. Flattened grass, churned soil, and the dark smears of dried blood bore silent witness to the brutal clash that had erupted under cover of darkness. The sharp scent of earth mixed with the metallic sting of blood still hung heavy in the air. Elias, the seasoned ranger, parked his battered Land Cruiser at the edge of the conflict zone. His deep brown eyes scanned the marks on the ground. Piecing together the events of the fight, he surmised it had been a clash between two male lions, likely to struggle for territory or dominance of a pride. Such battles were often brutal and unforgiving, with a loser paying a heavy price. As Elias continued to follow the trail, he noticed something unusual. Instead of just the paw prints of a fleeing lion, he saw the tracks of an entire pride converging on a single point. Curiosity and a sense of foreboding urged him forward. Cresting a low rise, the scene before Elias caused him to frown. A silent circle had formed composed of 15 adult lions. They stood or lay close together, heads facing inward, amber eyes reflecting anxiety and unease. In the center of that circle, on the red dust, lay the pride's mighty male, heaving. Elias recognized him. It was Jabari, the ruler of this land, a lion with a man of gold as radiant as the sun. Elias had followed Jabari since he was younger, witnessing his growth, his battles, and his rise to leadership. Now, Jabari lay there, his usual majesty replaced by pain and weakness. A deep gash tore across Jabari's left shoulder, blood still oozing and soaking his thick fur. One of his hind legs appeared broken, stretched out at an unnatural angle. Elias guessed that Jabari had faced a formidable and relentless opponent. The pride surrounded Jabari with evident concern. The adult females occasionally licked his wound, an instinctive act of comfort and care. A heavy silence hung in the air, broken only by Jabari's labored breathing and the soft rustle of wind through the grass. Elias stood silently, torn by conflicting impulses. He was a protector, and his instinct told him to help Jabari. He had tranquilizer darts and basic medical supplies. He could approach Jabari, clean the wound, and try to stop the bleeding. But another part of Elias' reasoning held him back. He understood the harsh laws of nature. Life and death were two sides of the same coin, and interfering with a natural order could sometimes have unforeseen consequences. Moreover, approaching an injured male lion guarded by his entire pride was incredibly dangerous. One wrong move could make him the target of a deadly attack. Elias remembered the times he'd seen injured animals in the wild. Sometimes they recovered miraculously on their own, but other times they became prey for scavengers or succumbed to infection. He knew that human intervention could disrupt this natural process. However, Jabari wasn't just another wild animal to Elias. He had observed him for years, sensing his strength and dignity. He knew Jabari's crucial role in the pride in maintaining the balance of the ecosystem in this area. If Jabari died, the pride might scatter and their territory could be seized by other lions, triggering new conflicts. Elias looked into Jabari's eyes, filled with pain, but still burning with a fierce spirit. He saw the concern and loyalty of the other lions and the pride. He felt the powerful bond between them, a family trying to protect its leader. Finally, after an internal struggle, Elias made a decision. He wouldn't intervene directly, not yet. Instead, he would maintain a safe distance, observe the situation, and be ready to act if anything threatened the pride or if Jabari's condition became critical. He took out his radio, contacted the nearest ranger station, reported the situation, and requested backup if necessary. He knew he couldn't handle everything alone. The long Serengeti day gradually shifted towards late afternoon, the golden light stretching across the dry grass. The pride steadfastly maintained their protective circle around Jabari. In the daylight, their anxiety and exhaustion were more evident. The adult females took turns licking Jabari's open wound, trying to soothe his pain and prevent dirt from entering. Elias continued to observe from afar, using his binoculars to monitor every movement. He saw that Jabari's wound was still bleeding, staining the thick fur around his shoulder. The male's breathing was shallow and uneven. Yet occasionally, Jabari would raise his head, his determined gaze sweeping across the gaps in the circle. Throughout the afternoon, no predators dared approach the pride. Their solid formation, along with the occasional warning growl, was an effective deterrent to any opportunistic hunter. Elias felt a measure of relief, but his concern for Jabari's condition remained. The daytime heat could increase the risk of infection. Elias weighed his options. Should he risk approaching the pride during daylight to examine Jabari's wound more closely? Or should he wait until nightfall when the lions might be more relaxed and less vigilant? But time was of the essence, and every passing hour could diminish Jabari's chances of survival. As the sun began to dip towards the west, casting long shadows from the acacia trees, Elias spotted a pack of hyenas loping towards them in the distance. In the daylight, they lacked the stealth of their nocturnal hunts, but their persistence and sheer numbers still posed a significant threat. The hyenas' appearance heightened the tension. The pride tightened their formation, low growls rumbling through their ranks, warning off the intruders. Jabari, despite his pain, struggled to rise, a pained but defiant roar emanating from his throat. Elias knew he couldn't delay any longer. Daylight offered no cover, and the hyena's presence could trigger a dangerous confrontation. He had to act, and he had to act now. Under the harsh light of the late afternoon sun, he signaled to the other rangers who had arrived, preparing the tranquilizer darts and the first aid kit. They would approach the pride cautiously, hoping their presence would be seen not as a threat, but as an opportunity for help. The decision was made, and the action would unfold in broad daylight, exposing all the risks and the hopes. Under the harsh glare of the late afternoon sun, Elias, accompanied by Jack and Lucas, carefully approached the circle of lions. They moved slowly, raising their hands to show they meant no harm. Elias spoke softly, trying to offer reassurance. Even though he knew the lions couldn't understand his words, the hyenas kept their distance, but their presence created a palpable tension. The lions growled warnings, their eyes constantly scanning the potential predators. Jabari lay still, his breathing shallow, the wound on his shoulder swollen and showing signs of infection. "We don't have much time," Elias whispered to Jack and Lucas. "Prepare the tranquilizer." With coordinated precision, Lucas gently approached Jabari from behind while Jack and Elias held the pride's attention. The tranquilizer dart was injected into the lion's muscle. It took several agonizing minutes for the drug to take effect, and Jabari slowly drifted into unconsciousness. Immediately, Elias, Jack, and Lucas moved in. They quickly cleaned the wound, removing pus and damaged tissue. Elias carefully stitched the deep lacerations and administered a strong antibiotic. They worked under the relentless sun, sweat pouring down their faces, closely watched by the wary pride. Having finished the initial treatment, they stepped back to wait for Jabari to regain consciousness. The lions surrounded their leader, their low growls a constant expression of anxiety. Elias felt a heavy weight of responsibility. He hoped his decision to intervene was the right one. After an agonizing wait under the late afternoon sun, Jabari began to stir. He shifted slightly, then slowly opened his eyes. The pride surrounding him released a collective sigh of relief, their anxious growls turning into soft, welcoming rumbles. Elias, Jack, and Lucas maintained their distance, observing from afar. They knew Jabari needed time to recover. They decided to stay in the area for the rest of the day, monitoring the situation and ready to intervene if necessary. The hyenas, after lingering for a while, had finally given up and left. To help the pride conserve energy and avoid further stress, Elias contacted the ranger station and requested a deceased animal be brought to the area. They placed the carcass at a safe distance, hoping it would provide a meal and allow Jabari to rest and regain his strength under the sun. Over the following days, Elias, Jack, and Lucas visited the pride regularly during daylight hours. They witnessed the lions' devoted care for Jabari. They brought food to where he lay, licked his wound, and always kept watchful eyes around him. Under the warm sun, Jabari slowly but steadily recovered. His wound healed, and his strength gradually returned. By the fourth day, Elias, Jack, and Lucas watched as Jabari rose and walked with a slow but determined gait, leading his pride once more across the Serengeti. Under the bright midday sun, Elias, Jack, and Lucas stood watching the pride move across the savannah. Jabari, his golden man gleaming, walked at the forefront, his majestic presence restored. The silent circle of the first day had vanished, replaced by the vibrant sounds of the wild. Elias felt a profound sense of pride and relief. The decision to intervene in broad daylight under the watchful gaze of the sun, had given a powerful leader a second chance. He knew that his job was to protect the delicate balance of nature, and sometimes that meant making difficult choices guided by knowledge and compassion. As the sun rose higher, casting its golden light across the endless savanna, Elias, Jack, and Lucas made their way back to the land cruiser to resume their patrol. With them, they carried more than just memories. They carried the story of the Silent Circle, a powerful reminder of a pride's unbreakable loyalty, quiet strength, and the impact of a carefully timed intervention under the open African sky. This moment, etched beneath the sun, spoke to the strength of unity, the depth of devotion, and the weight of responsible action in one of nature's most unforgiving arenas. It offered a glimpse into the delicate relationship between humans and wildlife, one built on respect, compassion, and an understanding of nature's raw truth. The story of the Silent Circle and the recovery that followed is a tribute to the enduring spirit of the wild and the powerful bonds shared among all living creatures. It reminds us of nature's awe-inspiring beauty, its unforgiving challenges, and our shared duty to protect its fragile balance. What do you think of this story? Let us know in the comments section. I hope you like this story. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.